Son of delight. Santa Claus is coming.
I feel like we've done 8 of these. Lacy was Team RB, Team ODS, O's, our daily show. What a terrible acronym. You know, I've always wanted one good acronym. You know?
I was never going to figure out what that meant.
Mine was going to be, like, honestly, like, my acronyms are never fun. Like, there's always, like, you see the people in, like, the satin robe that have the cool initials, and, like, my initials are as cool as IBS, you know? Like, it's just not, I don't have any good acronyms for the show. I was working with a marketing guy for a little bit just to try to get some branding. I'm like, I want a hat. Because we all know the hat, and I'm like, I want a Daily Show one. Nothing. We tried 500 of these, and it just didn't work. Because I thought, how great would it be to have an acronym? You know, I kind of have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Nope, not going to happen.
Did you just have to put, like, our Daily Show, all of it? Yeah.
Content machines on one of the hats.
Well, yeah, I've got that shirt.
You got the shirt.
I got
That's
the shirt.
right.
Yeah.
Lacy does have the shirt, but we have trucker hats now.
Well, maybe I'll have to get one of those.
Well, I'm thinking we're going to create a store. We already got the shelf. Why not just buy some of it and throw it down there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, at least one of each thing so people know what's available.
You know, I'm in the know today. I got the annual report from I feel important, but we all have access to this. I don't know why I'm holding it. But I just...
Did you print that out from the internet, CJ?
Last night I was being... You know, you get in those moods and you're like, you know, because I'm one of those people where I don't get annoyed very often, but when I do, like, I'm on and I'm not turning it off. You're gonna face the media man, you know? And someone said something to me about my hair and all that. Like, seriously, I was at Max, like, when are you getting a hair? Everybody, like, all day long. And I'm like, I get it. I know, but I'm working a lot. I don't have the 30 minutes to go get my hair cut. I'm getting it in December. Well, someone said something to me about my hair, and I said, listen, I am a D- local celebrity, and I demand, this is my character, this is my look. This is my absolute look. You know how long I was just riding this for about 15 minutes. They thought I was serious, like, literally getting ready to scream at me and all this stuff, like how egotistical I was. Yeah, I love those people.
But no one should ever comment on someone else's physical appearance.
I think so.
Like, just leave it alone.
Do you know how many times people do that to me? I am, like, literally the most judged person, I think. Seriously. From my hair down to the obvious city miles that I have on my face. So that's okay.
Don't talk about CJ's appearance.
Hey,
don't talk about anyone's appearance. Just, like, if someone's wearing an awesome sweatshirt, you can be like, you have an awesome sweatshirt. That's where the line is drawn.
But what happened to that hair? No. It's amazing. So what'd you write about?
I wrote about...
We've talked about so many of these. I'm trying to figure it out.
This time, we were talking about the Franklin W. Olin Jr. Memorial.
It is hotter than
Organ
yesterday
dedication.
down here.
It is already hot.
I feel bad for Tom because he came down in his work clothes in a suit, and I'm like, man, the boiler's on. I had my jacket on. I have a break. Everyone's like, CJ's taping these shows. There's no way this is live. No, I just wore this under the shirt. I feel like it's a respect thing. If someone's going to come dressed up nice, I'm not going to look like in a sweatshirt. I've been really trying to be proactive about that.
Yeah.
So I put that on. I'm telling you, I started sweating profusely, and maybe it's me.
No, this room is hot.
Okay.
But I do think it's funny that CJ dressed up for Tom Hain and then immediately went back to casual when I showed up.
I'm feeling free, Lacy. Feeling free.
Very comfortable.
That's
here.
right. No. And I gave him Dan Brannon's license plate number to run.
Merry Christmas,
How funny would that have been if I would have just started giving out random plates? Any cop that comes on this show is going to start getting license plates given.
It's like a free gift.
The gift that keeps on giving. License plate numbers. So, in 1924, license plates were pretty fascinating, by the way.
Man,
if you go to like the DMV and see them, they're kind of fun.
Yeah, they've got like 3 numbers on them.
It's like IL4. It's like
like the 4th person in Illinois to get a car.
Oh man! But you wrote about St. Paul Episcopal, and
yes.
I think and not being funny about this, we're really blessed in Alton. Really specifically, we have the most beautiful churches, and we have so many of them. Like, if one community had just one of the churches, like Alton Grace up there, or St. Mary's, or St. Peter and Paul, or they'd be blessed in St. Paul's too. I mean, we have really beautiful churches.
Yes, we really do. And St. Paul's Episcopal Church still exists as St. Paul's Episcopal Church. And so that's really amazing too, because we've talked about a lot of churches that have closed over the years or have moved from, a larger building into a smaller one. But St. Paul's Episcopal is still there. And in 1924, they were given this organ in memory of Franklin W. Olin Jr. And so they had a dedication. There was a service.
Like a kidney? Spleen?
Oh, right. We talked about this. A musical instrument
organ. It was
organ.
a lot funnier yesterday when I brought up the joke. I was on yesterday, man. I was on all day. Now it's just, falling flat on my face. Like a Saturday night,
A musical organ. Words should only have one meaning.
I agree. I have been on that hill for a long time. Just quit. Literally quit.
Yeah, language is too confusing.
And by the way, millennials literally only has one definition. One. Sorry, I had that argument the other day too.
As a millennial.
You know what? I don't know what I am. I don't know who I am anymore. Because I was a millennial for the longest time until like the younger generation became Gen Z, and then I kind of became a hybrid Gen Zer.
Oh, so you don't have a designation?
But I kind of not. I'm like a 99er. I feel like that's millennial. That is literally the right before the millennium.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Apparently I'm Gen Z.
Well, you're going to have to learn some new
I know
slang.
one. Riz. I do know one.
Okay.
I do know one. Just because of that little chubby kid that's on the Costco videos.
What does Riz mean?
I honestly don't know. I think it's just kind of like
like swagger?
Like putting something, like putting it on you, man, that's kind of an outdated term too. Like,
You're going to go back to your 1920s radio announcer voice.
And he put a move on her, but that's like hitting on somebody, you're rizzing them up.
Oh, okay.
Going in there looking Rico Suave.
Okay. Yeah, I really need to study my...
I am such a nerd. I like, no wonder I'm single. I'm like...
Once you figure out exactly what the word Riz means, you'll be golden.
So, the organ's a big deal for the church.
Yes, it was a very big deal for the church. So they had a service, like obviously an actual church service in the morning, and then had a actual concert dedication in the afternoon. I don't know why I said actual twice. Actual service, actual concert, like they were gonna fake one. Words.
I do that all the time.
So they had this concert in the afternoon, and blessing in the morning, concert in the afternoon, with an organ recital and vocal accompaniment. And so I did a little bit of research about the vocalists. So Mildred Dixon McDowell, Revan Desjarnette, and Herbert S. Heil were the singers that performed along with the organ music. And the church organist did the playing of the organ, and that was George A. Ritter.
Is the organ still in commission?
So I tried to figure that out.
I just figured that.
No. I wondered that too. And I found some information about a dial organ. So this is an Este organ that was installed in 1924. A dial organ from the Dial Organ and Company was listed as being at St. Paul's Episcopal
Church. There's no way that's
Church.
the real name of a company.
Dial?
Dial and Organ and Company? Is that what?
Dial, like DIAL Organ Company?
Man, they're pretty specific about what they're selling, aren't they?
Why?
Are they different types of organs?
Oh, no, like...
Oh, okay, that was my distance. I'm like, wait, so they only sell a dial organ?
No.
So I'm not being funny. That was a literal thing.
Well, organs are very complicated. So
right.
It's possible.
Just say it. I don't know.
It was the name of the company, but it could just be a type of organ.
I don't know. That's why I'm not being funny.
Either.
I just it's like
a good,
very specific company.
I thought this was going to be a very simple.
You were ready. You're like 10 minutes. We're in and out, and here's CJ questioning the world.
The organ part.
You're right.
Because I couldn't figure it out because.
I get you.
That was installed in 1992, according to the Dial Organ Company. But there was also an organ that was installed in the 1970s, but I couldn't tell if it was like a supplementary organ or if they just added more pieces.
Because a lot of organs have been just built on top of year over year, like in London and all that with the really, really old churches.
Yes, they just add, they basically add more tones, and then you can play more things, but the organ itself is still so I think I would have to contact St. Paul's to ask the specific history of the organ.
Father Guerin.
Yeah, and
he's a good guy.
And he saw the article and commented on it, and it made me feel really good.
Was he happy with it?
Yeah,
really
He's a good
guy.
Yeah, so big fan. No, me.
No, that's right.
Like,
no, I meant it that way. I meant it that way. It was funny that you said like I'm a big fan of Father Guerin now. You know.
No, I'm a big fan of all the stuff that St. Paul's does, and so it's cool that when I write something like this, I really hope that the organization or the people involved
enjoy it. Yeah, that is cool.
So I was happy to see his comment. And anyway, so they might know more about like the specific details of organ history at St. Paul's, because I couldn't figure it all out, partly because you don't just take out an organ and put in a new organ every time you change your organ.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Brings a whole new phrase to the term organ donor.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Several organ donations
said there was
St. Paul's.
100 years ago, an organ donor.
Yeah, you did put that.
I did. I was ready today. So, this is a big deal for the patrons of that church, I'm assuming.
Yes, it was a really big deal.
Was it talked about for a couple of days, did you see? Or so was this kind of a campaign almost?
It was not a campaign because it was specifically donated in memory of Franklin W. Olin. But there was an article in July.
Is he related to Owen Glass? Like, is that a different Owens?
Olin. Olin.
So I'm hearing Owen.
I'm sorry.
My fault.
Owens Illinois Glass Company. Olin is
the guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was all the like Western the
military.
Not Military Academy. The Western Cartridge Company. Like
gotcha.
The
primers and all that.
All the stuff that was done for World War II.
Yeah.
Like
Winchester.
Thank you. Yeah. All of the wartime
really
supplies.
I was just curious because I kept hearing I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of cool to read this and see like a name like Owen and on that, because we just see the last name as now a faded portion of a sign, right. But it's really cool to look back and see it, folks being talked about in the present day, like even with just the last, might not be connected, but just in Oland, or talking about who knows, some mayor from 1965 and seeing them in action, and just kind of see it's a different perspective than how we would write about them 100 years later.
Right. And especially because when you're reading a newspaper article, it is written in the present day. And so it's such a different experience than reading like a history book.
Right.
And I have to be really careful about that, because sometimes if things are really depressing or distressing and you're reading about them as a newspaper article, you have that same like visceral feeling because it's present day for the audience. So I sometimes have to be careful about how much bad news I consume in that form.
So that's been a thing on the show too. We did a thing in St. Louis with Ray. We did not do a lot of very nasty news. It was one of those things where you guys see it on TV. We'll talk politics. We'll talk this. And just like here, if I get 10 crime stories in a row, you're going to get 4 now and you're going to get 5 later, because I am not going to talk about all 10 of them for 15 minutes to start my morning.
Yeah.
I am not doing that.
It's really hard. It's really hard. I even, this is way off topic, but Mary Cordes and I went into the Telegraph when they were
this is a great story.
Yeah, when they were bought by Hearst, and we took out newspapers from 2012 to 2019 that hadn't ever been digitized, hadn't been turned into microfilm, and then the library actually got them turned into microfilm and digitized, because
which, by the way, is priceless, because we have look at towns across the United States. They have no history of themselves because a lot of that is gone.
Right.
I mean, I was looking at something too, not to get George Washington, half of his documents got eaten by rats before they, you know what I'm saying? It's things like that where you don't think of how important those boxes
Right.
are, and how, I mean, even if it's a letter to your janitor, keep it.
Right. It might, yeah, it's
You know?
important contextually.
Yeah.
And so we took all those out, and then I had to go through every single one of them to make sure that they were all in order, that they were all there before we sent them off. And so I was looking at the front page of every single newspaper for this 7-year period. And even though I had lived through that period and experienced all these things, there were so many things I'd forgotten about that were horrific that's what's on the front page of the newspaper. So it was like reminding myself of all of this stuff every time. And yeah, so you have to be careful about how you consume news.
Well, you really do. And now, why did he die so young?
Okay, so
that was kind of a really gotcha question.
yeah, like,
Sorry,
let's continue to talk about
such a
depressing
jerky
things.
way to say it too. I'm
it's
very
okay.
sorry.
No.
Why is he dead?
One thing I wanted to say, because we were talking about raising the money. So it was all donated from the Olin family. And there was an article, so this was in December, but there was an article in July of that year that said new pipe organ for Episcopal Church coming. So they kind of announced that there was going to be one, but they didn't say who it was going to be in memory of.
Man, I do remember talking with you about this yesterday.
Yes.
What a sad story.
Yeah, and so 3 years before that, Franklin W. Olin Jr. Was 30 when he died by suicide after several years of horrific pain due to a gastrointestinal disorder or something. And so he had just gotten a surgery. I think he'd been sick for something like 2 years. Had just gotten a surgery at a hospital in New York. And by all accounts, the surgery had been successful. I don't know exactly what that means because I don't know what the ailment was. But he was extremely depressed about his health. It kind of sounds like he, even if the surgery was successful, did not have like immediate relief, or
it didn't work. He didn't feel the way he wanted to feel.
Yes. And so his family talked about how
that's so terrible.
They thought it was because of his depression over his health.
And I've always said that I will never fault somebody for making that decision.
I mean, chronic pain.
Never will. I will never talk about it, never fault them, because you just never know what that person's going through, and who am I to judge?
Right. It is
and this
debilitating.
This man was a very successful. I mean, going to Cornell in 1924 is no easy feat.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty incredible. And studied chemistry.
Yeah.
And they actually named the Chemical Engineering Hall at Cornell is it still named the Franklin Olin Jr.?
Yes.
Is it really? That's incredible.
So,
wow. They've held on to it.
It was a donation from the Olin family. So
never mind.
They probably had to.
I was really giving them credit there, wasn't I? God dang.
But so the Olin family donated the money to Cornell for 4 buildings, but the Franklin W. Olin Jr. Hall for Chemical Engineering was the first one. So the other ones
really
came
cool.
later for other family members. But yeah, so that was, I want to say, in the 50s. It was a little bit later. So there were memorial donations made in his name for years after his death. I mean, it was, from everything I've read, including like obituaries for Franklin W. Olin Sr., this was like the family tragedy. This was something that, I mean, of course, it was
like
horrific.
the dark moment. It was truly that moment for him.
It really affected every family member. I mean, and it was just so sad. And they knew that he was, having a physical and mental difficult time.
I think
with
it's
this.
really cool, though, in a way. Hindsight being 2020, obviously being 100 years later.
Yeah.
There's ways that we grieve, and and who's to say how you grieve when somebody takes their own life or any of that. And if you have issue, please use the helpline. It is available. But it's really unique to see. Instead of just having that kind of to yourself or maybe doing something on your own, let's donate an organ to the church in honor of him, and so that way when we go, we can think about him while the music. I mean, it's just kind of a different way of doing it, and a really unique one too.
And I think that the level of transparency that the family had, like this,
especially back in you didn't have to be transparent.
You didn't have to be transparent, and I think especially when we're talking about mental health, like it has not always been something that people were willing to discuss, and to have that grace along with this. Yeah, it's a really sad story, and also you're right. There are ways that they remembered him that feel really special.
Lacy, we did it. This is your last live one of the year.
Of the year, yeah.
Of the year.
I
I will see you next year.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it. Remember? I told you yesterday I hate that see you next year stuff and new year, new me.
Well, you didn't say that you hate see you next year.
Oh, I did not yet.
Yeah, well,
see?
I hope you don't hate see you next year because that would be sad.
Only when they say it on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
Like, honestly, that's when you get throat punched.
Okay,
that's when you get
fine.
immediately throat
Yeah,
punched.
because we won't see each other for like 2 weeks in real life. Here in the studio, it will look like we see each other.
IRL in real life. All right. Hey, Ameren, Illinois stopped by yesterday, and I want to play this for you. Really good stuff about natural gas safety, what to look for in your furnaces. It's that time of the year. What should we do to maintain them, keep them healthy, keep our bills looking good, all that fun stuff answered in this conversation.